Hi, everyone.
Hi, Oksana.
Hello.
Hi, Val. Hi, Joyce.
Hi.
Hi, Oksana.
Hi. Okay, so Sarah sent out the minutes from our meeting of February 2020. Did everyone get that?
I got mine this
Yes.
morning.
Okay. Sarah, can you share it on screen? So one of the things we were discussing is where are the gateways to the town? And if you looked on the map, it looked like Route 21 north and south, Route 332, 5 and 20 east and west, and 364. Does that sound like the right thing? Everyone?
I mean, those aren't all of them, but those are the major ones.
Well,
We've got County Road 10 coming in from the county complex. You know, we've got more. We've got, well, we just have more. I mean,
well,
County Road
yes.
2, we got that one. That's a big thoroughfare into town, you know, to the hospital location. So yeah, you got the major ones.
Right, because we can't afford to put signs on every single gateway. So we should probably just choose, you know, the most important ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you think? Route 21 north and south?
Yes.
Well, okay, but north and south, are you talking Route 21 as it comes off of the 5 and 20 loop, or are you talking about 21 that it comes off of Gibson? Because there's a sign there on 21, you know, the Gibson, that already has a welcome to Canandaigua sign. It's not just about the town of Canandaigua, but that is an entry. So you're talking about just the one off of the 5 and 20 loop then?
Yes, near Naples, near where we're going towards Naples.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure about the sign off Gibson. So that's one thing. When the Comprehensive Plan Committee talked about the town of Canandaigua, you know, people are confused. Do we want signage that says town of Canandaigua, or do we want signage that says welcome to Canandaigua? I thought it was to the town of Canandaigua.
I would think that's what we're paying for. That's what we want to indicate.
Right.
But,
Okay.
But if you're talking about signs on 5 and 20 coming in from the Geneva direction, you know, the town of Canandaigua, there's not a whole lot of territory in that direction in the town until you get to the major business districts, and then it's kind of a shorty, and then, you know, the city of Canandaigua takes over. So that's a main entranceway into Canandaigua, but I don't know if you could say it's a main entrance into the town of Canandaigua.
What does everyone else think?
Well, I think the entry points are very, I enjoyed very good parking, that there needs to be enough land to do the welcome to the town of Canandaigua sign. And anything that I've looked at on site, this sign gives and we do need main gateways and possibly some secondary locations also. It's not that a sign needs to be placed right exactly at the entry point. We can use
Right.
other locations as well.
Okay. All right. And
Yeah,
then
but-
when you look,
When, Oksana, when you get to budget and you say, how expensive will these signs be? I mean, we don't even have a clue and we don't know what our budget's going to be. We may only have a budget for, say, 2 signs. I mean, I don't know how expensive these things are. So maybe we should prioritize the signage given our budget, or, you know, whatever that budget's going to be. I know we've got $15,000 in our budget right now, but I don't know.
okay. Well, Joyce, I did a little bit of checking, and there is a company called Signage, and they are out of Perry, New York. They are the ones that have done all the signage at Wegmans, all the municipalities, like Naples, that beautiful sign, Gorham, hundreds. They've done hundreds. So I spoke with the owner, and he said that a 4x5 sign painted and gold leaf, it would cost about $4,500 with the design and with the installation. And so with the post mounted, and they give an 8-year warranty, and they, you know, we can work with them on the design of the sign also. So let's say 4,500 to 5,000 per sign. And he said if we do more than one sign, they can give us a better price.
Mhm.
And so they are located in Perry. They have a website. It's copy this down so that you can take a look at it. It's www.signlanguageinc.com. Signlanguageinc.com. And so on their website, they also have like municipal signs.
Mhm.
So you can all look at that. They're really beautiful.
Mhm.
So if anybody wants to, you know, go down to Perry, I'm gonna go. I'm not sure when yet, but if anyone else wants to go, we can set up a date and
Mhm.
time and go have a discussion with them.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
Yeah?
Well,
Okay.
given that, with a $15,000 budget, we'll have 3 signs.
Yeah. Which is great.
Well, at the last meeting, the last CIC meeting, Doug was talking about being able to go up to 20,000.
Well,
What-
yeah, but right now in our budget, we have 15. So if we go, if he would have to ask the town to approve the addition, you know,
Right.
up to 20. So
Oh,
yeah,
so-
maybe we have enough for 4. But
so
I-
that,
Can you guys hear
So
me
that-
now?
what's that?
You actually have 17,000 in your budget this year.
Oh, okay.
And if you guys can hear me, you know, Oksana, you were mentioning sign language has given you some ideas of cost for a sign, but you did mention gold leaf. If you use paint instead of gold leaf, that should drop the price a bit.
Yes.
And I'm not so
And-
sure gold leaf really is as distinct sometimes as regular paint myself. I just observed that on some of the signage that I've seen. around. But the other thing is, okay, so let's say we've got enough for 4 signs, but okay, so we have to prioritize where those 4 signs would be. And we still don't have information regarding the billboard that's supposedly going up and how that may interact with our decision for billboard for signage location.
Sarah, do you know if the agenda for Monday's meeting includes the digital sign?
I don't believe it does.
Okay, so according to what Doug said at the CIC meeting, whether we have a digital billboard or not is up to the town board. It's not up to the signage committee. Now, we can, once the town board decides what they want to do, then we can work with Lamar to help design a sign. Is that right, Sarah?
Yeah, so you're right. You guys don't get to say whether or not it's there, but you might get input on what it looks like. As far as
We can't understand you.
I'll chat.
Okay. So, maybe that's something that we could ask at the Monday meeting.
Technology folks. How are you?
Yeah. Okay. Well, also in our in the minutes from last year, Marcy Deal pointed out that according to the recent surveys and resident meetings by the Town Comprehensive Plan Committee, the top priorities for protection and preservation for residents were natural resources and views, woodlands, hills, lake, meadows, open lands, the lake, recreation, water quality, and agricultural products, farm stands, farm to table. Well, we can't put all of that on the sign, but we'd have to work with the sign language people, and we can present this to them, and then we can work on a design with them.
Well,
So is there, go ahead.
I also think that maybe sign language is one sign company. Maybe we need to explore other sign companies who may have different things to offer, or pricing, or suggestions, or something before we, go into that.
Okay, Joyce, do you want to do that research?
Not really.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
I think it's a good idea, to just take a look at what other sign companies are out there, just to make sure. Sure, I'll do it. Sure, I'll take a look
thank
at
you.
it.
Valerie, do you have any ideas of other sign companies?
No, there used to be one near Phelps called Elderly, but I am not sure what their current status is. And then there was one up in Farmington as well, but I don't know if they do anything as elaborate as, the ones you referred to, like the Naples one or Gorham, which are beautiful, I agree. But I can check it out and ask that.
And there was a sign company in Geneva, because I had some signage done myself years ago, and it was on maybe Exchange Street, kind of close to where the rink is there, So maybe there's other sign companies that are out and about.
Yeah, I'll come up
Okay.
with those. I'll ask my counterparts and I'll do a little investigating for you on that one.
Okay,
Okay, just
thank you.
shoot us an email and Joyce will look at others.
Does Lamar only do billboards?
That I am not sure.
I
I
think
think that's-
Lamar does digital advertising, in-house billboards, et
Yeah.
cetera. So,
Yeah, I think it's just billboards.
Okay.
Okay. Has anybody seen the billboard by the ice rink in Canandaigua? Or not the billboard, but the digital sign?
Yes, I've seen it.
Sure, I couldn't. Right.
It's right there on the
Okay,
corner of North Road and yeah, by the Civic Center. Yeah.
okay. Even though we do not have a say in whether the town board wants to have a digital sign on 332 and over there on 5 and 20, I don't know. Do we want to make a recommendation to them or not?
Well, I have a
Regarding-
question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Does this all have to go to a public hearing for the public input?
I
I don't know that either.
I think another thing we need to be, once we get our favorite locations, having just worked down in Naples a little bit with some signage and the code zoning enforcement officer. Some of the I think almost all the roads were state highways, and there's a lot of extra rules that you have to
Right.
go through to get signage.
Yeah,
Right.
right of ways and everything. Yeah.
Even off of
That's-
those, like not in there right away. Naples had some special challenges, so I just want to make sure before we make a recommendation and then it gets blown out of the water by violating code 693 of the New York State, whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
Mhm.
good idea. Maybe we could ask the planning department, or the ordinance committee or somebody I know there's a transition in the planning department right now, so I don't know who would be the person I think the planner would I don't know if she's on board yet, but anyway, they could guide us, or we could even, as far as the state requisition, requirements go.
Yeah, and it may also need, and I'm not sure, but the Ontario County Planning Board.
That's possible.
Yeah, because sometimes I get their agendas where they're seeking approvals, and a lot of the approvals have to do with signage and lighting and all those things that you guys talk about all the time. So I think there's a lot of process that may have to happen before we can make a recommendation.
And there's not only
Okay.
the state code, but there's also our own town code, how it would apply to this, if at all. I don't know.
Yep.
Because this would be a town sponsored sign, so I don't know how our town codes interact with that. It's not a private signage, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sal,
yes.
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
Sal, would you want to investigate that? The code for signage from town code with the ordinance committee or the planning board and the Ontario County Board.
Okay,
Was that a Val or
Okay.
a Sal?
yes.
No, Sal. S-A-L.
I am glad to let Sal do that. Let me just say.
Okay, thank you, Sal.
So, Oksana, just to make sure I'm clear, I'm going to check with the town board.
Well, just check with the planning
No.
board, and the planning board will be able to tell you what the town code is and if it has to go to the county.
Great,
And probably can give you information regarding the state DOT also.
okay. Yeah, that's what we had to go through for the downtown signage.
Yeah.
dealing with the state, because Main Street's owned by the state, so.
Mhm. And so is Route 21, and 332.
Right.
To the, some of the discussion earlier, I just want to say, I think we ought to ultimately rank our recommendations, like this would be our first, second, third, whatever, beyond consideration for the budget.
Yeah.
So in the event that budget can be added later, or in the event, costs change or anything, that way they could move forward without like stopping and going, oh, we never went in step 4. So I think we ought to project out what the ultimate signage program would be,
Mhm.
and then let them figure out whether they want to go that far, and
Yeah.
spend that much.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Does the signage message, or whatever you want to call it on the sign, are they going to be the same on every sign? Or are there going to be areas where the sign may be a little bit different, talking about, a graphic of the lake and that type of thing?
Well, I thought of that. Whether we wanted, like on 332, which is our agricultural area, if we wanted to, promote agriculture in the graphic, but it would cost more to have each sign different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
So
think
I guess, go ahead.
I think when we get together our plan of primary locations, I have a feeling that that's going to help us to understand the design that we're looking at. Something on 332, I don't know if 332 needs to be a different, larger sign, maybe, because it's such an access to the town of Canandaigua, than maybe 21, down close to South Bristol or whatever. So I think the locations also have something to do with, the way the sign may look, maybe in its how big it is, that kind of a thing. 5 and 20, we might want to have a really big one. I don't know.
So if I could I just joined you guys here and just got off another call. I heard a little bit, I overheard from Sarah's computer, and I just wanted to jump on for a quick second. So the New York State Department of Transportation actually has very specific decorative gateway signage. So when you're talking about, actually to Joyce's point, it very well may be that our signs on state roads may have a different restriction than, for instance, a sign on a county road or even on a town road. So, and DOT, most of what we see with these gateway signs actually tend to be on state roads. When you think about Bristol or South Bristol even, or, the city of Canandaigua, like the one that's actually in the town of Canandaigua, even though it says welcome to the city of Canandaigua, in front of the hotel on 5 and 20, that's all falls under the DOT, the New York State Department of Transportation decorative gateway signage stuff. So I'll actually share a link in the chat with you for the regulations, but you may be talking about something different for those areas and then something different for other areas, or maybe you just want to start with truthfully the state roads and get something planned there at first and then talk about in future years the others. So, but that's really up to you. I mean, obviously going back a few years, the whole point of this project team was because there's nothing currently when you enter the town of Canandaigua from any of those locations. So you have a lot of flexibility.
Sarah, are you putting up what we see on our screen right now? Or is Doug did Doug do that? So it says gateway signage 5, 12, 21. It gives you major entry points.
Yes. I can.
So you did that?
I've been keeping track of what you've been talking about.
Okay, I didn't know if this was something that you preempted before the meeting or if these were actually our minutes. So I was just going to ask if you could please send that, because that's a good way for us to start ranking.
Thanks, Doug.
So Doug, Sal is going to look into the codes, you know, maybe with the planning board or ordinance committee with the state DOT and Ontario County board, planning board.
Yeah, I think honest and truly, if I was to try to help you guys go in a direction, I would start with the DOT gateway stuff first, because that's really going to
Okay,
determine, and then we can talk about the county stuff and all the other stuff later, but it's got to meet, you know, the DOT regulations, and the DOT regulations are pretty stringent. I'll give you an example. I was involved many, many years ago in Sal, you may remember this, the Canandaigua Chamber of Commerce installed signs on Route 332 and on some of the roadways, and they called them gateway signage. None of those actually meet the requirements, and DOT year after year after year sends letter ordering those removed. So we've got to be very, very careful about what we're going to be doing. And so that's why I say we might really want to start with the DOT restrictions first.
Okay,
okay,
I definitely agree with Doug. And again, my recent, trying to help Naples, and we got a DOT contact. I'm thinking, Doug, you probably have one too. But if anybody needs that one that's about a year and a half old or 2 years old, I can get it for you. It's on Jefferson Road in Rochester, basically.
yeah,
okay,
I could use that.
Okay, I'll make a note and send it to you, Sal.
Great, thanks. Is Greg
All right.
Trost with DOT?
Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over here at the Canandaigua office. I believe, though, he may have either just retired or is in process, but yes, he's in the Canandaigua office with DOT.
Okay,
okay. All right, so far, Sal is going to be contacting state DOT. Joyce and Val are going to research other sign companies. I researched the sign language company, and they're in Perry, and I would like to go and at least talk to them. So we can, if anybody else wants to do that, let me know, and we can set up a meeting with them. And then we can set up meetings with other sign companies as the research comes back to us. And let's see what else. So Doug, I don't know if you heard our discussion about the digital signage from Lamar.
No, I did not.
Okay, well, we were wondering if the digital signage is going to be on the town board agenda for Monday or not yet.
No.
No, okay. All right, and so I told everyone that really it's the town board that has to make a decision, not us.
Yeah, there's a variety of moving pieces with that. So they, you know, the ordinance committee first is reviewing the regulations. Then they'll make a recommendation to the town board relative to the digital signage component and the specific draft of the regulations at this point. And then it's ultimately up to the town board, obviously, whether or not that they want to enact that. If they do it, you know, there's some other factors. There's some litigation settlement factors that factor into all of that. And they'll have to work through that. And then after all of that, if that moves forward, then I think there's an opportunity for maybe the Gateway Committee to work with the signage people. But there's still too many ifs, as I guess what I would say, for us really to have discussions with the Gateway team at this point relative to that.
mhm.
Okay, thank you. So, Sarah, can you send this to us, what's being shown on the
Yeah.
screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Anything else?
In reviewing the notes from your previous meeting a year or two ago, that I think some of the comments in there and suggestions were right on point. I think that may have been from Marcy, Deal, and Val were in that meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
They also discussed the farm-friendly signs.
Hmm.
And I don't know, Joyce, was it you that was trying to find out where those signs were located?
Yep, I talked with Jim Fletcher and I just asked him if we could have the locations of all of the farm-friendly signs, thinking that maybe we could add something onto that post, or I didn't know exactly what. And he does not have a listing of those. So I don't know how they get, there's nothing that he could like give me to indicate exactly what roads these farm-friendly signs were on. So I don't know if that was the Ag Committee did that or.
So let me just touch base so you guys know with the story on that. So yeah, the Ag Committee was definitely involved with all that and actually the designing of those signs. But those signs were put on the same poles. It's a tubular piece of steel pole that sticks up that actually is the traditional, and in many places it's the only sign as you enter the town of Canandaigua that says zoning laws in effect. And then right below that was the additional sign that says, agriculture friendly community. In my opinion, those are not welcoming signs at all. Those are, you
Right.
just got hit upside the head that said you entered the town of Canandaigua. They're not welcoming or decorative signs like you see in entering a lot of other municipalities. So I don't know that you'd want to be part of those or not, but that's kind of how those ended up, just on those same poles. I don't know whether or not there would be more room on those or not, to be honest with you, but they are up in almost all of the entry points to the town of Canandaigua.
Okay. Maybe that's all that we were interested in, where exactly they were placed.
He doesn't have a map
Okay.
or anything.
Do we know when our next meeting will be?
Well, we don't. So let's all decide.
Okay. Not that I am suffering from any lack of meetings in my life, but it's more like a lack of calendar time to fit meetings in, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at my calendar. Is the second Wednesday of every month at 11, is that a good time for everyone, or should we do it earlier in the day?
Doug's got his meeting at 10 for the Citizens Academy at 10.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well,
And as you know, my calendar is more like what's going on that day. So I know the second Wednesday in June is an example. I'm just all out filled already.
okay. The first Wednesday of every month?
Yep, that'd be okay.
Val, what does your,
I have a committee meeting at 11:30 the first Wednesday of every month, so I would need to be done by then. But at 11:30.
okay. Do we want to do it at 9 or 10?
10
10
sounds
works
good.
for me.
That works for me too.
9 o'clock?
Sure.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah.
Val?
Yep.
We doing
Okay.
10?
Okay. Do we want to do 9 or 10? I didn't hear that.
Either one for me.
It's okay, either one.
Yeah, I'll say either one too. So
Okay. What is the preference? I mean,
I guess,
I
well,
don't-
if I'm gonna prefer, I'm gonna prefer 10 so that I like just do back to back and don't get tempted to do anything else in between. So.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, so then June 2nd at 10 a.m.
So are we going to keep this schedule, the first Wednesday of the month for, for just till the end of the year? So we can put that on our calendars, or are we just going to go month by month here?
Sarah, is
I
that
think
a
that
good,
we
Sarah,
should
is
put
that a,
We should put it in our
Is-
calendars now. for the
yes.
year.
Okay, let's just do it.
Okay.
But Sarah, are we conflicting with any other meetings? Is she still there?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I mean, I think Wednesdays are generally good.
At 10?
Yeah, I may not always be able to come. We have department head meetings those days actually, but I'm not sure you have to have me at all of them.
Okay,
Well, there has to be a host.
The other thing is that Lois could not make it today, and she wanted to be on this committee, so you might want to get her input before you decide on a schedule for the rest of the year.
okay. I'll check with her. With Lois. Okay. We all have our assignments, and if we don't hear differently, let's meet June 2nd at 10 a.m.
Very good.
Sounds good.
Okay? All right. Thank you, everyone.
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
Doug, you have anything else?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all your work on this.
Okay.
Seriously, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, take care, everybody.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right.